Did you know, I only have only 4.9% of you guys to subscribe. It's like, subscribe. Yeah. This video took over 7 hours to make, and it'd be very beneficial. So, we'll start this video off by giving a special thanks to contributors who helped make this video possible. So that's Nekomancer, who's the former rank 1, Spaz, who's the current rank 1, and Yasin, who's the former rank 3. By the way, none of this is including all booster and all accounts. I'm not considering those. Nah, you don't deserve to be considered. Starting this tier list off, we have F tier. In the very bottom of F tier, we have King Xeric. King Xeric is like worst unit in Stick Warfare. His stats might be good, but a light tag and an extremely slow movement speed really hurt him. Not to mention, that 25% training boost is still really useless, because if you really want a training boost, just being the general for that person and has a better DPS than King Xeric somehow. Next in F tier, we have Sickledath. The Sickledath, well, good is bad. The heavy damage is ferocious, the light damage is mediocre at best, and the splash damage is even worse. The only thing that Sickledath really need is a little bit more heavy damage, and it'll be somewhat viable with Sworddath. Maybe also a splash damage fix would be pretty nice too. Starting off B tier, we have Fir. So the reason why Fir sucks so badly is if you really need like lots of group healing, you have healing mode. Because you don't have the Fir dying, and Fir sucks on single target healing. Fighter for Toad is also pretty useless if you time it wrong. So D tier, it's the very top of D tier, is the Giant. The Giant is completely useless. The Enslaved Giant completely overshadows it, because who needs anti-heavy when you can kill the entire backline? Also, the Giant's health is really bad. You need Monstrosity for it to even work, and even then it's a really bad trade-off compared to Spiritons and Juggernauts, even Riptiders too. There's no reason to use a Giant. Starting off C tier, at the very bottom of C tier, is the Dead. Deads are only really useful in dead spam. There is really no other reason to use them. They used to be used in the Eclipser deck, but now swords, bombers, every other unit is more useful, and they should stay in C tier. They should never be in B tier or A tier. These things are annoying as hell and very overpowered if they're in meta. Next in C tier, we have Maokai. The Maokai, ever since the upgrade rework, has been pretty good. Is he still need Toxic Brutality? 100%. But 11 AoE on the Hellfist goes really crazy on backlines. So yeah, C tier. He still dies really quickly if you don't watch him carefully. Next in C tier, we have Zephos. I drop it? Yeah, there you go. Zephos, yeah. So ever since the upgrade rework, Zephos has also been pretty good. Heroic Leap spam does go crazy, but Rage does on Tempo 1, but still. That heavy damage is pretty good. So why isn't Zephos meta? That's because Spiros does the exact same thing as Zephos does with the good stats, but at a much cheaper cost, and you also get way more health and a heavy tech. Next in C tier, we have the Toxic Dead. The Toxic Dead is the exact same thing as Dead, I'm not going to repeat it. The only thing that's good this time is that he has poison, so it's the only reason why Dead spam even works. Next in C tier, and the very top of C tier, the Ultrakill. Somehow, the Ultrakill is actually somewhat useful. The 40 damage plus stun plus burn damage is actually pretty good with Ultrakill. Only issue is, well, if you want that, just use Kytchu. Because you know, Kytchu is better than every fucking thing in this meta. But yeah, Ultrakill is C tier. Starting off B tier, and the very bottom of B tier, is the Shadowwrath. So Shadowwrath, prior to what the game says, are not assassins. They are DPS machines. Only issue is that the DPS can be cut in half by controlling a unit and walking across them. Also, the scaling is ferocious compared to Archidons, so there's no reason to ever use them over Archidon. Next in B tier, we have the Crawler. So the Crawler's stats is ferocious. There is no reason to ever use the Crawler except for one reason. AI abuse. That's right. The Crawler is the only reason they're being somewhat competitive in the meta is AI abuse. and double tower spawn. Which probably is abuse, but still, that sucks. Next, in the tier we have Miner. Silverbrick. Why is a Miner an S tier? Isn't Miner needed for every game? Yeah, that's right. You need it. Doesn't mean it's the best. Because comparing this to Slave Miner, Order Miner is only useful against Spear Start. There is no reason to ever use Order Miner over Slave Miner besides that. Then again, majority of decks do pretty good against Spear Start, except Kytchu, which is the main deck, but still. That's the only reason I've used Order Miner. There's no other reason. I don't know what else to say. I don't know why I made it so long. So next in B tier, we have Spear Elves. Ever since they increased the cost of Temple, Speos' Deep Freeze, which doesn't even work, costs 300 crystal, which is pretty useless. Still, his stats are really good, same for his cost. He also has a heavy tag to reduce damage from Archidons, and also did a pretty good job against Kytchu. Well, not that good, but still, it's a job against Kytchu. That's why Speos is near the bottom of B tier, because his abilities are absolutely useless. Next in B tier, and somewhat near the top of B tier, is the Enslaved Giant. Unlike the normal Giant, the Enslaved Giant fills its role pretty good. He does a great job against Archidons, and also some good damage with Control Whip. And you already need Monstrosity. The tanking power's not that bad either. So Enslaved Giant, somewhat near the top of B tier. It's good and balanced. Next in B tier, we have Atreus. Can I drop Atreus, please? Thank you. So Atreus, despite the increase to Omni cost, which really nerfed his what's it called, standard ability, Atreus is still meta. Still pretty good. Kytchu still destroys him now, even more, but Atreus does do a good job against Kytchu if the Kytchu has no clue what they're doing, and spear spam with Pike is still pretty strong. So yeah, Atreus is somewhat balanced. Near the top of B tier, we have the Enslaved Miner. Same points as the Order Miner, except that it sucks against Spear Start and isn't good against everything else. You have passive cure, you have passive healing. There's no reason to not use this Miner unless you're weak against Spear Start. But even then, the chance of you going against a Spear Start player is very low. Next in B tier, we have the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is the more balanced of the mini-tanks. He does great damage, he does scaling pretty well. Only thing that's really bad for him is that his population is pretty high, so you can't really get as many Juggernauts as you get in Spear Tanks. But then again, you do have charge and backlines, which is pretty good against Kytchu. So yeah, overall, a good tank. Right next to the top of B tier, we have Archers. Archers is really balanced. He has great light damage, mediocre heavy damage, he is good against Eclipses, his tether ability is mediocre at best. But most importantly, he can two-shot Archidons, which is very important. It's also very nice, it does a good job against Kytchu as well somehow. At the top of B tier, we have the Myric. Please drop it, thank you. So despite what some people think, the Myric is not dog shit. The Myric's healing with max tempo is insanely high, plus projectile barrier also goes extremely well with the Myric, as you can stop endless Kytchu volleys, click the little link in top right to see how to do that with Myric, and it's a lot of healing on Kytchu. Starting up A tier, and the very bottom of A tier is the Eclipser. The Eclipser would have been at top of S tier. The only issue is that Kytchu's in meta, and Archidon's scaling is insane compared to Eclipses. A stack of Archidons kills absolutely everything, so the Eclipser does not stand a chance. Somewhat near the bottom of A tier, we have Bomber. So first, you can actually watch my Bomber video in the top right corner if you just click that link please. Second, the Bomber is at the bottom of A tier. I should have probably put him at the top of B tier, but I'm too lazy to record this video, so just pretend he's just doesn't deserve to be A tier, like doesn't deserve to be really low in B tier. So the Bomber, ever since they increased the cost of the upgrades, he hasn't been that good, because now we can't get double tower spawn if you want to use that quickly. But yeah, he's still good. He still does a good job against Archidon start if you don't know what to do. And you can two-shot Archidons using this trick in the top right. Next to the bomber, we have the sword F. So right now, the sword F is actually one of the most balanced units in the game. The only thing that's an issue with the sword F is that his leap hitbox is really bad, so that really needs a buff. But otherwise, the sword F is really just balanced. He has great heavy damage, some bad light damage, he has a stun ability that's pretty decent, and he pairs really well with like Rip Riders and other units. Which is why he's meta. That's exactly why he's meta. Kytchu still destroys him if he does bad, but he does work in some sword Archidon decks, which you can check on the top right of match replay of that, yeah. At the very top of A tier, we have the Rip Rider. If this tier list was my tier list, the Rip Rider would be the very top of S tiers. I absolutely hate this gremlin, I think he's super overpowered. Because his hitbox is ginormous, this automatically AI abuses really annoyingly, has an insane amount of health for its cost. The only thing that's bad is his training time kind of makes it bad, and it doesn't do good scaling compared to Speartins. But still, that's why he's top of A tier. This is not my tier list, this is Spat and Yasin's. And Shabakala and Nekomancer, yeah. At the bottom of S tier, and starting off S tier, we have Kytchu. Yeah, Kytchu, who would have guessed? Bottom of S tier, whoa! So Kytchu is the best general in the game. She has insane heavy damage with Control Whip, some pretty decent light damage, an overpowered ability, and almost impossible to kill with dodge and healing. Not healing health, but yeah. Not to mention, Archidons are meta. Like extremely meta, the scaling is really good, so with Kytchu's scaling is actually pretty good for a general. Next card in S tier is the Speartin. The Speartin is one of the best mini tanks in the game. It is the best mini tank in the game. It has great light damage, which makes it really good early game, a fast attack speed, which makes it good against generals, and also some pretty good health with the upgrade rework. So it scales well too, and has the lower population to Juggernauts so you can get more, so Speartin is just the best tank. He really needs attack speed nerf in his block. At the very top of S tier, we have the Archidon. Thank you. So the Archidon is the most overpowered unit in this game. I'm not even joking, this Archidon is so broken right now. So first, the Archidon gets insane scaling. With max army, it can't be two-shot by any general, which is really absurd. Second thing, the damage it gets is also pretty good. It gets a 20% increase by Forge, but you also get a lot of Archidons. So it's insane. Not to mention the early game is really easy. It's just user control. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with Archidon. You can eco snipe, and you also combine it with Sword Rafts, Speartins, Kytchu, Archers. It works in almost every deck. Archidon's is that strong. So it's a tier list. If you want to use this tier list in anything, please give me credit. Yeah, I spent an insane amount of time making this video. And also, I'm gonna say it again, only 4.9% of you guys subscribe, so please subscribe. Please, this video took way too long and it's getting losing my mind.